community. They go hand in hand. Then, of course, cultural and natural resources has also been an important part of our platform and what we've been doing so far and what we can hope to continue to do. And I'm happy to fill in those spaces with any questions you might have about that.
You mentioned the fire, and you happened to come in at a time when that unfortunate incident had occurred.
Yes.
How do you feel about the progress of recovery and what you plan to do going forward at this point?
Yeah, I'm really proud of our team. I'm really proud of the work that our folks are putting in. The county worker staff are the people that we've hired as consultants. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's happening in the community. Another thing I'm proud of is we're listening to the voices of the community, the folks that have been most impacted, and hearing what they have to say about this. I think is a really important consideration for us. Try not to get caught up in all the bureaucracy and other things that happen, but listen to what our community is asking for and how we can best help them. So again, the effort being made is really, I'm very inspired by it. For example, all the temporary debris site has all been removed. It's at the permanent debris site now. Ahead of schedule, but very, very, focused on that because of what it meant to be able to rebuild the homes in Lahaina that much quicker, to be able to have a temporary site for that. And now we have, as of this point, about 950 permits that have been issued for people's homes, some businesses, mostly homes, and in some stage or another, some 85 or so homes have already been moved back into. Another, good sign. Things are moving in that direction. I don't know if you're aware, but 2 multifamily units, Kaiaulu o Kupu Ohi, which is 89 units, which burned to the ground in August of 23. About a month ago, families all moved back in. Across the street, Kaiaulu o Kuku'ia, which was not damaged and was already under construction, 200 units have also been moved in. Those 289 units represent about 1,000 people from the west side that are now living in permanent housing. And so really excited for those families that have been able to do that. We have plans now that we have our funding to continue to do more of that for other multifamily dwelling units that are in Lahaina. And we're working with the state on some of those projects. And this is all possible because of the funding we received from HUD, referred to as the CDBG-DR, Community Development Block Grant Disaster Relief Funds. We also have used the moniker Ho'okumu Ho, or the housing programs that we have. And we're offering folks funding, grant money to rebuild their home, or if they've already rebuilt or started rebuilding, to finance a reimbursement for them. And those folks that are renting, we've offered a first-time home buyers program. We've already issued a couple of those awards to people who are now going from renters to homeowners. So again, I'm just reporting the data. People can decide if we're moving quick enough, too slow, not fast enough. I think giving it a name as to where we're at, I'll leave to somebody else. But in our minds, those are all the milestones that we're at now. But the big thing I want to say also is that we're now focusing on the commercial properties, especially in Lahaina and Front Street. With the funding that we now have from the federal government, we can put the money into the infrastructure that's really necessary to bring back what is needed before those homes can put back their structures. I shouldn't say homes, those businesses can return with their structures. So working with a lot of folks, like I said, a lot of consultants, a lot of agencies, the state, the federal government, of course our county partners. Excited about that, what's coming up in the future for that.
Okay. One of the topics that was kind of born out of the fires, but was kind of a carryover from before, is the TVR topic and
Bill
the
9.
legislation that was born out of that. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. First of all, I want to really emphasize the purpose of Bill 9 was not to divide our community. The purpose was to preserve our community. In other words, keep people from leaving, prevent the hemorrhaging of people from our county to outside of the state of Hawaii. We already know there are more people of Hawaiian descent living outside of Hawaii than within our own state, and a lot of that has to do with home prices. This is not the only avenue or the only answer. It's one piece of a strategy that we have to increasing the inventory of homes and home ownership or home rentals, whatever that does, long-term rentals for families. The bill is currently before the council. It's already passed the committee, the housing committee, and it needs to be set for hearing by the council, specifically by the council chair. And we're hopeful that that will happen sooner than later. You know, we're excited to know that it's been vetted. There's been testimony from both sides, and I'm really glad that both sides came out to address their concerns and their priorities and how they see this working. I also know that there was a TIG, that was also a temporary investigative group put together by the council. I know they worked hard also to come up with some companion bills. And so our hope is that that bill will pass and that the companion bills will come behind that, and that will be also reviewed by the council. But the important part is that we'll get, you know, thousands of units inventory back into our community. Again, this is just one part of the strategy. We're seeing prices of condominiums coming down. One testifier said at the hearing, 35%, they've dropped by 35%, the prices. The goal was, of course, to have them become affordable for people who will be getting perhaps money from the insurance agency, from the settlement, the legal settlement that happened, and people will have money and funds to be able to purchase, or they'll get help from us if they fit the AMI requirements. So again, just one part of it. I hope by the end of it that this will improve the inventory, increase the inventory. There's no way we could build thousands of units in as quick as we could absorb these units into our housing market, and so looking forward to it.
Okay. And then one other key topic that keeps surfacing is the use of water,
Sure.
water resources.
Yep.
Where is it going to come from?
Yep.
And compounded by the drought situation.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
The water is one of the barriers to building new housing, but it's not a barrier for those condominium units that are already built and water is already allocated to them. So that's one of the good news, is we could get thousands of units and not have the water be the main barrier. There may be other issues, but it won't be the water. You know, we have several water systems on Maui. You know, we're interested in having discussions with all of those purveyors about how the county can come into control of that water. Obviously, it's topical now. We're in drought. We lost the Century tournament in some ways because of the water. So there are there's an urgency, I should say, for the county to be very involved in those discussions, and we are. And so I'd have to say stay tuned, because we don't have anything to report back on right now, except we are very much involved.
Okay, and then you did mention the Century. It's one of the key events that we have for our island, also the Lahaina basketball tournament.
Yes.
What do you foresee happening for Maui's economic opportunities and diversity in the future?
Sure.
Are we looking to continue those type of activities?
Absolutely. So I was really encouraged. DBED, you know, from the state reported that Maui in the month of September, we had a higher visitor rate than we had the September before. So over 1 year, and there was an increase in visitor spending as well. So very encouraging numbers. Obviously, tourism is a huge economic driver for us. Lots of jobs are created by that. Hoping that continues in the trend that, you know, was just reported. On the Century, it's every indication is they'll be back. It sounds like they're not going to play anywhere this year, the Century. It's not being played somewhere else on the mainland. So sabbatical for this year. I do want to say, in case it's not widely known, that the owner of the golf course, TY company, or Mr. Yanai, he donated and pledged the exact same amount of money that went to the nonprofits last year. And it was about $750,000 that was generated from the tournament for that cause, maybe 20 plus organizations. So he gave the exact same amount to the exact same nonprofits, or will be giving them, as if the tournament had happened. Now, of course, the other impacts, the 40 million or so estimated that we would have brought, would have gone to hotels and other businesses. That part will not happen because of the tournament, and hopefully other people will come to Hawaii during those months, January, February, December, January, to vacation anyway. But it won't be a result of the tournament. So I did want to say that there was that relief that Mr. Yanai pledged to our nonprofits on Maui, as if the tournament had happened. The basketball tournament is still scheduled to go forward. I know we're used to calling it the Maui Invitational. It sounds like they're calling it the Southwest tournament, I've heard. But that's still up and running. Our air conditioning is brand new at the Lahaina gym. The floor is in great condition as it was last year. And so I wish I could name all the teams that are coming, that they're always top teams. So that is going forward in this month, November.
Is there any topics or areas of your platform that you wanted to touch upon that I didn't ask about?
Not that you didn't ask about. Maybe I can say that for us, we have really put a focus on emergency preparation and response, and that we've really laid the foundation for better communication, as well as increasing those departments that most deal with the preparation and the mitigation for future. I could go on and on about all the things that have happened. MEMA has gone from 9 to 25 personnel, including a permanent person in Molokai, Lanai, and Hana, which never happened before. Firefighters increased by 29 positions, most of them completing shortly, completing their training and be able to come online. Apparatus, equipment, vehicles have all been increased. My police department's helicopter, which can fly at night and handle a greater water volume in terms of water drops. The AI technology that are on the cameras that are in the remote fields now, some put up by us, some by the electric company, that can detect smoke before someone can even call in a fire. The Genesis Protect app that people can use for evacuation. Some of the purchases we've made, especially in Lahaina, on roads to improve evacuation as well. So there's a real huge focus on the preparation for any disaster, trying to mitigate any disaster. The third part of that, of course, is recovery, but we're focusing a lot on preparation and mitigation, where we're focusing our policies, our funding, the work of the first responders. Everyone has a heightened awareness that's never been seen before. Lots of training. Again, I think the key is communication, working together, coordinating, but recognizing what can happen and how to prevent it from ever happening again. I think has been a huge focus, along with the Office of Recovery. John Smith's doing a great job to handle that piece. But the whole idea is not to let it happen again.
What do you attribute all the progress to? You said that there's more positions available now, there's more communication happening. Yeah. Is there anything that you attribute that growth to? Absolutely.
First of all, it's the resilience of our people. Our people have not given up on us and not given up on themselves. And I'm talking about county workers, people living in the community. The cooperation between the administration and the county council. The council has generously, and I think correctly, funded these positions and funded these operations that are so necessary. I think we all see the need for that. And so the council, we couldn't do it without the council's effort. And not to point out anyone in particular, but in particular, Councilmember Paulton, Councilmember Sukimura from their respective communities have really stepped into that space and represented their communities very well, very vocal, very intentional again. I think we've all gotten behind one process and one, moving forward. And actually, coincidentally, that touches on the point that there's this foundation that has been built. There's this momentum that has been created. There's progress that's happening. And the reason I'm running again is to keep that going and to build on that foundation, to complete the recovery, complete the rebuild, finish what we started. And again, that's only because we're surrounded by an incredible team, a lot of partners. I count the council as part of our partnership, our agencies, the other counties, the other mayors have been incredible. Our governor, the state has been a great partner. The federal government, although we're going through a transition now with the shutdown, they obviously came through for us with the HUD monies that we have. And a lot of philanthropy and community organizations have all helped. So I think the rallying cry that went out was answered, right? The kahea was answered. And so we have this synergy and I'm going to say momentum again that was started that I think you can judge for yourself how you've seen, what you've seen and how you would describe it. But I think it's really essential that we finish the job. This isn't the time to change up on what's working and where it's going. But again, that's always a question for the community, the public, the voters to decide. But again, my goal is to continue building on that foundation and completing the job.
And then what would you say to somebody who's kind of like on the fence, doesn't know? I mean, there's no other candidates at this point, but
No.
Somebody who's not familiar or is not totally engaged with the government.
Right, that's fair. I would tell them to talk to their friends and family, talk to people they trust. They don't need to take my word for it. I mean, I think we're so engaged in the community. We hold so many community meetings. We are very hands-on with our folks, trying to continue to build trust, because really we work in the currency of trust. And I think trying to make good on our promises, saying or doing what you say you're going to do. Yeah, I think for someone new who wants to be involved, obviously get involved in the community. We have lots of boards and commissions, lots of voluntary positions. We saw so many volunteers come out, strangers helping strangers, friends helping friends. I think talk to trusted people who are in our community to see and get their opinions. Obviously, I'm sort of in it, so I may not be the only person with an opinion about this. But yeah, ask around.
Okay, and then just a fair question, anything you want to do different given the chance, and wishes and hopes for the future?
So it's interesting you said a fair question, so I thought you were going to talk about the county fair when you said that. And I wanted,
about the county fair.
yeah, I wanted to say that the county fair was probably one of the best things we could do for the health and well-being of our community. If I had to look back on it, we had no way of knowing how it was going to turn out. It was put together in less than a year. And again, that was an example of the council working together with the administration and our partners. And from everyone I've talked to, yes, there are criticisms. Oh, we didn't have flying saucers. We didn't have Pronto Pops. But we had Kulolo Sundays. I mean, there were things that were traded off. But at the same time, even in the long lines, I found people were happy to pass the time talking to old friends and new friends while they were standing in the long lines, whether it was for food or games or rides. And so I was very encouraged to hear that, firsthand from my own family, what I experienced in the time my wife and I were there. But just seeing, over 119,000 people come out over 4 days, record numbers. That tells us a lot about what the community wants, what the community. We were able to bring over alumni and our Molokai residents as well. We were the only county that held a county fair in the state of Hawaii this year. And I'm guessing we got maybe some people from the neighbor islands come over too. That was the 98th. We're looking forward to the 100th, which means we have to hold the 99th. And by every account, tweaking here and there. The venue, which we always thought was plenty for what we had, almost seemed too small. So I think we'll have to put our minds together and definitely have somebody run the numbers on that program. But I would say that for the community, the county fair was a huge hit. People needed it, they wanted it. Thinking about the vendors, the food booths, the nonprofits, this is kind of their Black Friday, right? They make a bonus. This got to get a bunch of volunteers, but they make money that can help their organizations, which is also huge. So lots of impact throughout the community for the individual citizen, to the nonprofit groups, to everyone who made money, whether you were parking cars or selling food or selling items. I underestimated what I thought that was going to be. Obviously, we were nervous. Having Mike Victorino as our Grand Marshal was also sort of a flash to the past for folks who know how long Mike's been working around the county fair, helping it be out there. So there were so many reminders for people, and there were some things that were missed that people hoped we had, and now that we have more time, maybe we can work on that. So it was a thrill to be able to have that happen for our people.
Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for the trust people have placed in me, my team, our organization, all of our county folks that work so hard every day. I really am thankful to our county employees who go the extra mile for their community, and I look forward to continuing serving. Thanks, Wendy.